Okay, so this is the Tremulant device, and this is a harmonic tremolo device. It's a pretty simple audio effect, and what it does is create a rhythmic modulation of the audio signal, whereas in a different kind of tremolo device we might get a change in the amplitude of the signal by the LFO. In this case, it's not changing the amplitude. What it's doing is the top part of the LFO represents one filtered signal, and this is a different filtered signal. So as we're moving between, we are mixing between the two signals. So we have a low pass on one side, and on the other side we have a high pass. Here, this is where we're setting the center frequency. Now in this case, I've left it just to do it by ear. So let's just get this. First of all, here is the dry signal. I'm just going to use it on a guitar just for the classic kind of sound. And this is off, so let's turn it on. So it's on pretty slow at the moment, and we can hear how that changes. So let's speed it up. I'm just using a keyboard, so that's not really what a guitar chord would sound like, but it's a good approximation. So let's start here. Then this is the LFO that we're using, which is obviously a triangle wave, and we can change that. This is a control, so we can click and drag. Now, as we see, as we drag up, that shape is going to gradually change. So now we have more of a sine wave. And then if we keep going, that's going to square off to get a bit more of an extreme change. And then if we keep going, that's going to end up being a saw. So usually for a more classic sound, we're probably gonna stick with either the triangle or sine, or somewhere between the two is nice. And we can also change the phase of the LFO if we want to. Perhaps in some cases we might want to sync this to the tempo, and in which case we might want it to go up or down at a particular time when the track starts. In this case, we're just using hertz for the speed. But if we change that here, then we can change that. Okay, let's actually start the transport, so that will work. So now so here is a dry wet control, so we can just have completely dry. We can have the completely wet signal, or we can have a mix if we want to attenuate that sound a little bit. And what we can do here is we can add a little bit of noise into the modulation signal. So that will just randomize it a little bit, so it's not going to be an exact straight LFO coming out. And at small amounts it might not be very noticeable, but it's just going to add some variation there. If we put it on wet, we might get more of an idea. So when we're using it in the normal mode, both the left and the right channel are affected exactly the same by the LFO. But if we want to change that, we can get more of a stereo effect, in which case we can see that the right channel will then take the opposite end of the LFO. In which case, while the left channel is being low passed, the right channel will be high passed. So we can hear what that sounds like. So this was designed for single monophonic instrument to give it this effect. Of course, we might probably add other effects like some reverb to make it sound a bit nicer, or whatever else we like. And the other thing is, of course, we don't just have to use a guitar. We can use anything we like. Here there's a piano. But we can add it to any synth. This is an effect which doesn't usually come with a synth, so that we can add this to any kind of sound we like.